salute to you for tuning in. This is my show. Kin up, kin down. How vulnerable can you be? How transparent can you be? How PC would you rather be? Would you rather sugarcoat it? So kin up, you gotta be extremely raw, with whatever you're saying. And kin down, you have to, that's when you want to tone down your expression, okay?
Tell them expression is gold.
Let's ruffle some feathers, right? So when it comes to child support, right? From my perspective, if have a baby with somebody and you did not want to have a baby, right? They hit you with a surprise. You did not want to raise a kid with them. They're like, hey, I'm going to keep it. It's their body, their choice. You didn't want it, but you obviously have no say in it, right? And this is not a person you want to be with at all, right? I don't think there should be child support at all. I think it should all be her responsibility because it's her body, her choice, and her choice should be her responsibility. That's it. And I do think in the case where there is a child support, because that's where it is now, I think the only people that should be able to file to be relieved of child support is people who actually get married and have kids with the woman that they actually want to be with, right? So a family, because that's more guaranteed that it's going to be beneficial to society as opposed to like a traumatic situation where, that kid might grow up and it's going to be a turbulent situation, the father might not always be there, and then the kid might end up in the streets and actually affect society in a negative way, right? But if that man goes on, moves forward, and actually has a family, right, and he's taking care of his new family, the woman and the kids, he should be able to file to be relieved of child support from the woman that, who used her body, her choice to keep the baby that he didn't want, you know what I mean? So that he can focus all his income and his resources on the family that he actually wants that will benefit society, So that's what I think when it comes to child support, okay? And I honestly think that it's a form of sexual assault if a woman decides to keep a kid without your consent. If the man not having a say and her being able to just go and have the kid is a form of sexual assault on the man.
Tell them expression is gold.
Yeah, I'm gonna remain here. So, I've always felt and understood and known and been self-aware that I have a gift. I love to express myself. I love to create situations, scenarios, platforms where people can express themselves. I love communication. I love connecting with people. That's why I travel so much, right? So at this point in time in my life, I'm dedicating my energy, my talents, everything in, further establishing myself as a creator, whether it's in talking, like I'm expressing myself now, poetry, music, acting, podcasting, all of it, right? And the hardest part of it is when you make that sacrifice, sometimes you have to kind of, I'm being dramatic, but abandon your friends and close family members and whatnot, because you have to be so focused in making sure that what you exactly see in your head get out, and you don't want anybody to be able to affect it or like sway you. You don't want nobody to hit you and say, man, why'd you put this out, man? Come on, man, that's not you. Da, 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 da. You don't want any of those things. So you kind of got to have a tunnel vision, and I'm going through that right now. But I got good friends and good family members who understand, what I do. So it's not that there's any backlash or any bad effects, but sometimes I do think about it. Like, I hope they know, you know what I'm saying? I'm on my mission. You feel me? And I know they all on their mission too. That's why I don't bother them either. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I'll be vulnerable about. And I think it's very important to be able to have friends that will understand and family members that will understand what you're doing and kind of sometimes get out your way so you can find your way and make your way. And then everybody can connect their way to your way. And then y'all can actually prosper. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's very important. And, yeah, I wanted to kind of, share that and be vulnerable about something that I'm going through. Yeah.
Tell them expression is gold.
Story time. Woo! Okay. So, y'all remember POF? Okay. Plenty of Fish, a dating app. Okay. Popping before Tinder. I was on it. I remember I was studying abroad in Peru. I was living in a family house in Peru. They said you couldn't bring girls in there, but I used to bring girls in there all the time. Okay. I'm a different kind of human being. Okay. When you tell me no, I find a way to make it a yes for myself. Okay. So I matched with this girl. I looked at her pictures. I said, she's doable. Okay. Now when I saw her in person, she was undoable. Now in person, you know, everybody can always say what they would do until you are in a situation. So as a young man, a lot of things ran through my head. Take her out on a date, pay for it, and then just send her home. Tell her that she catfished you, so she should just hop in the taxi and go home. Don't pay for the taxi. Or tell her you got something to do and put her in a taxi, pay for it, and tell her, yo, just go home. We'll meet another day. My young mind at that time did not calculate that far. You see, where I am now, I'm thinking about all strategies. But in that moment, I was thinking about all reactions. So what I did was say, hey, stand right here. I'll be right back. I took a couple steps and then I turned into supersonic and I ran. I ran like somebody was chasing me. I ran like Iraq was after me. I ran. And then I got into the other side of the building and I went upstairs and I watched her stand there looking lost until she decided that it was time for her to find her way back home. And I'm sure she's probably found a man who would never run from her. But I wasn't that kind of man. And that's my story.
Tell them expression is gold.
On the topic of snitching, every time I touch on the topic of snitching, there's a lot of people that engage. So let me touch on it, okay? Since everybody's afraid, I'm not afraid to touch that topic, okay? I think we should actually develop something called non-swapping cooperation. Non-swapping cooperation, okay? NSC, non-swapping cooperation, okay? I'm developing this strategy or this monumental theory as I go. So work with me. I think people who are in prison and they had somebody who died, right, who was part of the whole crime, they should be able to put, the crime on the dead person, come home and pay the dead person's family, because it's better to have an able body, right, in the streets working and paying the family than for the family to be grieving, not receiving anything, and for another man to be in jail and not able to take care of his family either. You know what I'm saying? That's a loss. And as black people, I think we gotta stop just always thinking about these morals. First off, there's no morals in the streets. Black people are the only ones that always think about, oh, but what about God? But what about morals? But what about principles? None of that was considered when white people was thinking about dominating this world. No empire that has dominated this world has considered morals. They have always taken. They have used violence. They have used strategies. They have used underhanded plans to surpass their opposition or whoever they wanted to conquer. Nobody conquers with a sound mind. They use all means to get to their destination. It's only black people that leaves it in the hands of God. God will handle it. Let go and let God. And you're still where you are. So one of the things that I believe is non-swapping cooperation. So in this case, you're not swapping nobody. You know, nobody's going to jail, right? The dead person is just getting the blame, right? To think that, you know, people are not cooperating is crazy. First off, like, if you're really tough and if you really believe in the street code, when they ask you show your ID, don't show it. Because when you show your ID, you are cooperating. When they ask you, right, to write your name and you write it, you are cooperating. When they give you a public defender, which a lot of people have public defenders, right? And these public defenders are like, you know, they work for the courts, right? So when you tell them what happened, you are cooperating. You are always cooperating. When they tell you to stand and spread your legs and you do, you are cooperating. So you are cooperating already. So why do not strategically cooperate to come home and not swap nobody? You know, the only time I look at snitching is when you throw your partner under the bus. You throw your partner under the bus. This is a partner, somebody that you in cahoots with, did something together, and now you throwing them under the bus. That's when I call it snitching. If somebody attacks you and you attack back, cooperate to get out of jail, because the most important thing in life is self-preservation, and you should never risk your freedom for somebody that you don't know, that try to damage you, that you had to damage, and now you serving time for that person. Oh, hell nah. You crazy? And now your family's what? Are you crazy? Are you dumb? Ah, man. So yes, if you, you know, throw your partner under the bus, then, you know, that's snitching. But at the same time, if you are in jail serving time for your partner, especially if they did it and, you know, you're the one that got caught, so, you know, you holding it down, your partner got to be taken care of home. Your partner, if they're going to use your name for music, they should give you a contract. If they're going to use your reputation to be able to stay safe in the streets, they should have a contract with you. They should take care of your family. Y'all should have a deal. Hey, if I'm doing 25 and if I cooperate, you are going to come here too, but I'm going to hold it down. I need $500 a month. I'm just throwing out numbers. It should be a bill. There should be a bill to hold it down. A bill. So two things that I'm leaving y'all with. A bill to hold it down. Just like you pay your cell phone bill, you pay cable, you pay all these other things. Yeah, pay for that homie that's holding it down for you. A bill to hold it down. And there should be a non-swapping cooperation. A way where somebody can cooperate, but nobody gets penalized and they get to come home. Use the system to your advantage. Find the loopholes. Find the spells and twist the spells. Rearrange the spells to your benefit and come home and work and take care of your family. All right? And if you can't come home, then the people that are home that you are doing the time for, there should be a bill for the person that's holding it down.
Tell them expression is gold. Tell them expression is gold.
So lately I've been watching Cam and Mace's show. It Is What It Is sports show. The first time I posted them, I went viral on TikTok, and every time I post them, I go viral or I do a lot of numbers on TikTok, right? So, you know, a salute to them. But honestly, like, I love watching their show and posting them. So it's not like it's like hard work or a job. You know what I mean? It's like I watch it and I laugh the whole time, and I be having 10 clips in my head that I want to post. You know what I mean? I love the chemistry between Cam and Mace, and I could tell when Cam is annoyed with Mace, but they always bring the love back. because Mace be just goofy and slow, but Mace always gets his point, and it always makes Cam laugh. And I see Cam genuinely laughing. And they always talk about, the fact that they grew up together, and then you like, damn. So for all these years, 20 plus years, whatever, that they weren't talking, and the issue was not that serious. These brothers must have actually really missed each other, and for them to come back, circle back around, and have a show, which I believe is going to be worthy of. It's going to be a staple that's actually going to add onto their portfolio. It's going to add onto their wealth. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there might be a big TV company, or they might get great ads. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I could see money in the show. Basically, that's what I want to say. Because even when they had Lenny Cook on there and it was going back and forth, you're like, wow, this is kind of like the barbershop. You see how LeBron has the barbershop? Like, this is the real barbershop. Like, LeBron's barbershop is still kind of like for TV. You know what I'm saying? It's LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? He's still LeBron, as free as he is, still has boundaries, right? Because his reach is so wide that he has to actually play the edge a little bit. Cam and Mace don't have to, especially Cam, because it's Dipset. You know what I'm saying? It's arrogance. That's Cam. You know what I mean? So I love it, and I just wanted to touch on that because, I feel like for me growing up and watching Dipset, seeing Cam and Mace beef, and then now being older now and seeing them come together, for me, I guess it just kind of it warms my heart. I'm gonna just be honest. It literally warms my heart because it just lets me know, man, a lot of the issues that people have, it don't be nothing. And so instead of ruining a relationship, that's birthed from love, you know what I'm saying, over ego, over pride, sometimes it's just best to reach out and say, yo, bro, my bad. Yo, bro, let's squash this. Yo, bro, I'm done with it, bro. You know what I mean? So however they came together, I salute it. I salute it. I salute it.
Tell them expression is gold.
Yeah. Hey, I've been here this whole show. This is awesome. All right, look. NBA YoungBoy and Dirk going at it. I think it's become more of entertainment than street things. You know what I'm saying? And I love it because I believe that hip hop should be treated like a sport, just like how fights in the streets now they do UFC. What else? Fist fighting is boxing, and we've taken violence and guarded it, even with refs, turn it into sports, and people make hella money off of it. Hip hop should be the same thing. They should even have album release battles, song release battles. Me and you getting into it, we're going to release a song the same day. We're going to see who sells the most, and whoever sells the most gets a plaque. Whoever get the most views, the most this, the most that, the most this gets a plaque. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, companies can put money behind it. Let's bet. I'm a bet that NBA YoungBoy's release is going to do better than Lil Durk's release. All right. So when in that bet, whoever does more, obviously, then you get your wins. It should become a sport. Hip hop should be a sport. So many people will make so much money. It can bring jobs to people like the Kool Hercs and them. When I say the Kool Hercs and them, the older guys who were supposed to be execs, but they had bad deals, so they were not able to transition from being rappers to becoming execs. And now we don't know what they're doing. The ones who are lucky are still performing, but the ones who are not, they probably messed up, right? So if you make hip hop a sport, those people, the OGs, can become refs. They can have so many jobs. Imagine a stadium, a hip hop ring, for releases. You can turn this into a sport, a gladiatorship sport. They can become, the promoters? They can become promoters, people can make money, make hip hop a sport. Now, as far as Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy, I think Lil Durk is very smart in how he's playing it. First off, he tapped into the rebrand, found his light, because the more darkness you put out there, you're gonna attract that. So you got to balance it out with some light. So he did the song for the kids called "All My Life" with J. Cole, which is smart because J. Cole is full of a lot of light. So he's a great person to reach out to for a rebrand, right? Boom. Durk did that. He's still gonna give us the dirt from the streets, because we want some of that. We want that. You know what I mean? But I remember NBA Young. I guess Ack said Dirk and NBA Youngboy squashed their beef, and then boom, NBA Youngboy disrespected Ack on Twitter, right? So Ack now is salty. He's hurt because he's friends with NBA Youngboy, and that's somebody that's always been like, yo, Ack, I need you here, and Ack will go there because that's his friend, right? So Ack is so salty, right? So Ack starts exposing NBA Youngboy. Ack goes, yo, NBA Youngboy is not blackballed. That's why he's always in the DSPs. That's why he can drop today and still be on all the playlists on Spotify and elsewhere. So he's exposing his friend, right? It's kind of like somebody like, it's like a breakup, and then your girl is exposing you because they hurt because you broke up with them and you did something foul, right? So I kind of understand where Ack is. But where Dirk played Ack is, Dirk hasn't talked to Ack in a while. But when Dirk saw that Ack and NBA Youngboy, there's a riff, Dirk called Ack. Ack picked up. Now Ack has to be on Dirk's side. So even though Ack is not saying it, the way Ack is moving is Ack is on Dirk's side now, because how could he be neutral? The other guy is dissing him. That was his friend. He feels away now, so he's exposing his friend for playing a role of being blackballed, but not actually being blackballed, just not wanting to mess with people in the industry and actually just playing a role of being blackballed. And then, Ack is like now kind of in a way amping up Lil Durk and calling out the genius of Lil Durk. But what Ack is not realizing, that he is also, he has fallen into the trap of Lil Durk as well. But all in all, it's dope, you know what I mean, to be able to watch hip hop as a sport unfold and to be able to, speak about it as well. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Joe Budden and Gilly, right? Joe Budden and Gilly getting into it. That's also very, very entertaining. When Joe pointed out that window, I was like, wow, I always watched Gilly, but I never saw that window. That window is a little narrow. And Gilly might have to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? Gilly's throwing a lot of low blows, though. I ain't gonna lie. But what I call podcast beefs now is I call it peef. Okay? Peef. So when podcasters are going into it, and they gain at it, and it's inevitable, because it's a good way to promote each other's brands also. I call it peef. Okay? And I think peef can also be a great thing where a lot of money is made. Podcasters get into it. Okay, you release an episode, I release an episode. Let's see who does the most numbers. People put ad money behind it. People bet on it. And whoever wins, wins. And whoever wins gets some type of plaque, right? Get some type of reward. And then you can count how many times you beat podcasters. Let's say we call the plaques Gold Peeps, right? Gold Peeps, all right? If you have 10 Gold Peeps, that means you went at it with podcasters 10 different times and you won all of it. That's why you got 10 Gold Peeps. Like, we got to change the game, man. We got to make the game more entertaining. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Thank you for watching. Because everything that I'm speaking on, I'm manifesting it. It starts from the brain. I put it in the voice. I put it in the art. And then we put it for the world to see, right? On the metaverse and in real life. And then, give me those. Salute, it's Bito, I'm out.
Okay, how?